Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
And this is how. Welcome to my hardcore 1 to 60 boar challenge, or make love, not Warcraft. We've all seen this guy who completed it on normal classic, but I'm gonna do this in hardcore. Let me just say before we get going, this video will be part of a 4-part series, which is edited down footage of my journey of going 1 to 60 boars only hardcore. But I will be releasing a larger version which encompasses a lot more of the files barely edited down. The rules: you can only kill boars, not just the squealing little piggy boars, but also quill boars. The only quests I am doing are the ones that involve killing boars. There isn't many. I was originally doing this self-found, but because I'm not completing quests, I couldn't really get gold very easily, so I decided I wasn't going to do self-found so I could actually sell stuff to the auction house to buy armor and potions and stuff. I will be using an add-on called Kill Track, which will let us see how many boars we've killed, and also using Questy, which will tell us exactly what we've done in quest-wise, leveling, and everything like that, just to show evidence that this is only killing boars. Choosing a character. I decided to go for a dwarf rogue. There's a couple of reasons why I chose a dwarf. The starting zone is perfect for boar hunting. You can go from 0 to 16, 17 just in that area. And also having another defensive mechanism in stone form. Just any little helps in hardcore WoW. And as for choosing rogue as a class, I think it's quite obvious as a solo hardcore player, having vanish, having evasion, having hard CCs, like it's very advantageous to use a rogue in this situation. Now let's start this journey. I Kill Boars wakes up into the world, a fresh, 1 second old beer drinking dwarf. And of course, we have a beer to start the day. So I started off killing small crag boars in the Coldridge Valley area. These are relatively easy to do even at level 1. They're all about level 3 and they go up to level 10 in the Dunmorrow area. Now I'm just going to gradually make my way to Ironforge, killing any boar along the way. So I'm going through Coldridge Valley Pass, and because I've got stealth, it makes it way easier for me. You still have to be a little bit careful. I make my way through Koranos and up towards Ironforge. I've decided to obviously choose skinning as a profession, and I've chose leather working to start with, just so when I don't have much gold or silver I can make my armor just to start with, and then later on I'll switch it. And at this point I was still in self-found mode, so I couldn't sell anything to the auction house either, so it was even more prevalent that I had a profession where I could actually make armor. So from this point I pretty much stayed in the middle of Dunmorrow, just killing like the level 5, 6, 7 boars. I'm trying not to be too overzealous and go for boars that are too high level than me, and I don't mind gaining less XP by killing a low level boar, just so then I can at least be positive that I'm going to stay alive. So far, from level 1 to 5, I've killed around 140 boars. At this point, I've not started using Kill Track yet, but I do start using it soon. Every hour or so during my journey I have to come back to Ironforge to make food, sell the items, create armor, because my bags get full very easily from killing boars. Getting all the new abilities and ranking them up as well costs a lot of gold and silver. So that was another reason why I stopped doing self-found mode, just because it was impossible without gaining the gold and silver from quests or doing dungeons. At level 6, I started travelling up the right hand side of the map on the east side, because the boars became higher levels there, like 7, 8, 9, 10 along that side. So it just made it a bit easier. I felt confident in killing the boars at this point, but sometimes that confidence nearly got me killed, and I was so close. It was petrifying how close I was to dying. I know it was right at the beginning, but I've put so much mental thought into doing this challenge, and to die before I hit level 10 was just demoralizing. But with a combination of evasion and stonewall and running at the right time, I managed to survive with literally 1 HP. At this point, around level 7 to 10, I was using a stealth build, so it would do a lot of opening burst damage, but then sustained damage wasn't very good, and I also didn't have as much defense, so I ended up changing this from level 13, 14 maybe. So at level 8, I started using Kill Track. I didn't know about this add-on to start with, so I would have used this from the beginning, but yeah, I've started it now from level 8. Once I was at level 10, I started making my way further up the east-hand side, where there was boars up to level 11. From level 5 to level 10, I've killed a further 390 boars, putting the total up to approximately 530 boars killed so far. On one of my many returns to Ironforge to sell everything that I have got, I ended up stumbling into the most wonderful guild that I have ever met in Warcraft. A dwarfs only guild called Fellowship of the Forge. A very positive, happy role-playing guild, and I'm all about that. That is just amazing. So I joined Fellowship of the Forge, and what I didn't realise is this was the 1 year anniversary of Fellowship of the Forge, and we were all going to a local pub to celebrate our anniversary. As you can imagine, dwarfs like drinking, love shouting, love singing, love dancing, and that's all that it was. To initiate me, I was handed a pack, a tabard, and a flagon of dwarven honeymead to get this party started. After telling a few stories, we ended up setting off to go see the Dwarven King. Of course, we RP walked there, shouting for the Forge the whole time. On the way to the King, we stopped to celebrate one of the members turning level 60, an epic achievement in hardcore WoW. We made it to King Magni Bronzebeard in the high seat, ready to begin whatever celebration our guild is doing. We knelt in front of our king, King Magni Bronzebeard. We discussed the formation of the guild and stories that we have leading up to this year anniversary, thanking King Magni Bronzebeard for his guidance during this. Then the rest of the guild set off on a journey to find treasure together, whereas I really needed to get back to killing boars. I think they were starting to miss me. At level 12, I made the decision to head off and take the tram to Stormwind to try and find a new adventure. My travels landed me in Westfall, which was a very new adventure in a new place. I had to be even more vigilant now because I don't unlock Vanish until level 16. I started off searching around Westfall trying to figure out which was the most efficient loop to level. I ended up stumbling on Stendel's Pond, so just a small little pond around a little mountainous area, which happened to be right behind where the Hairstone Point is. The boars around this area were level 13, 14 and 15. I performed this loop by going around the right hand side of the Hairstone Point, following it round down to the pond, and then around the back of the pond, up the hill, and then down back towards the trees, up the hill again, to the right, and by the time I've completed this loop, the first boar would have respawned. There was also one quest I could complete in Westfall to create a Gortusk liver pie, which only required me to kill Gortusks. I conducted that loop and that one quest until I hit level 15. Officially, a quarter of the way through. So from level 10 to level 15, I killed a further 660 boars, putting the total number of boars killed up to 1,190. Now this challenge hasn't become difficult yet, it's just monotonous at this point, but there is a point in this challenge where it becomes very difficult. I hope you like this video and subscribe to follow on with the rest of my hardcore boar journey.